Worried right now. There's a computer worm out there that's supposed to do something today. Problem is, no one quite seems to know what it's supposed to do. It could even be an elaborate April Fool's joke. The worm is known as conficker. It's infected millions of computers around the world. Ken Chase is following the worm's progress. He's the owner of Heavy Computing, an internet consultancy in Toronto. So you've been tracking this, as a lot of people, I think. What's been happening so far? So far, so good?
I mean, the worm isn't actually set up to damage your computer or anybody else's computer specifically yet. So right now it's just propagating itself and installing itself on all these computers around the world.
So no damage yet, but have you any reason to think that this is just one big elaborate April Fool's joke? Is it bogus, or do you think it's quite real?
Well, it's a lot of work for the coders to go through, the guys who put this together, for them to prepare this. And it's going to be quite a useful tool to anybody who wants to engage in illegal activity on the internet. So I don't think it's a joke to them. They're pretty serious about getting this installed on as many computers as possible.
So what is it about this dreaded worm? What do we know that it's done already that has people worried, people believe you got to take this seriously, even if we don't see any mischief or malice today?
Right. It is pretty serious. It's infected somewhere, some people are saying, from 2 million up to 10 or 15 million computers, most of them in Europe and especially China. There's probably somewhere around 200,000 to 500,000 in North America that are infected already. The problem with it is that it installs itself as a remote control utility for the hackers to take control of all these 15 million computers. With 15 million computers, you can do quite a lot of damage. You can crack very difficult passwords because you can make a supercomputer out of all of them, or you can just, excuse me, send all your traffic against one site, like Mafia Boy did a number of years ago against Yahoo, and took Yahoo entirely off the internet. You could take Google off the internet with 15 million computers by just sending enough traffic from each one of those computers, a small amount. But times 15 million is quite a lot to could take the whole internet down, some people are saying.
So we know that conficker has already infected it's already spread and is poised to do something, but is awaiting marching orders from, I have the visions of Dr. Evil, some sort of master that could launch it into some evil agenda. We just don't know, right?
Right, that's exactly how these things work. They're called botnets, and that's a collection of computers that are infected on the internet that are in control of a number of hackers. And this one is looking like it's going to be one of the bigger ones. The problem with today is, and I think they chose today because, you know, in at least Western cultures, we have some sort of doubt as to the validity of news reports.
Right.
So people might react a little slower just because it's April Fool's.
Right.
So perhaps that's a good day for them to pick. But today is special for the virus because in the code that the people are fighting against this, the analysts, the security analysts who have taken this apart, they've looked and they found that on April 1st, the worm will start going out and getting its actual malicious payload, or it's capable. We don't know if it's going to actually do it today, but it's capable of doing it today. Now, in the past, there's previous versions which only contacted some random set of 500 possible payload sites. And what the people who are fighting against the virus did was they registered the random domain names that the worm was going to use so they could control it. So the worm had nowhere to go that was friendly. But now the worm is ready to go to 50,000 domain names, and no one has the money or the time to register all those random. They're just collections of random numbers, 59b6.com.
Right.
And the worm will go there, find a payload, get its instructions on what to do, including possibly upgrading itself with a more virulent copy.
So for people who want to just protect themselves today or beyond, I heard somebody say, you know what, if you want to just feel secure, don't do banking online today. Don't go into Facebook or social networking sites, because if you really want to protect yourself, why would that be the case? Why would you be vulnerable there?
I don't. Well, it depends on the payload. If the payload is set up to record your keystrokes, then you could lose your password. But no one's, like, they could get your password, log in. I'm not sure what they're going to do with your web banking, transfer money perhaps. But that seems to be a very difficult way for hackers to make money. They're more interested in stuff like the phishing or the spamming. Some analysis shows that spammers can make up to $1 million a day, even if the spam is shut down after a day. It just takes enough people going and buying whatever product it is, usually Viagra or something like that.
Right.
They can make $1 million a day. So it's quite worthwhile as long as they hit enough computers on the internet. So I personally wouldn't be worried about Facebook or that kind of thing. However, I would say that you should go to the Microsoft website, because this only affects Microsoft computers, Macs, and of course anybody running free operating systems like Linux or FreeBSD are completely not at risk. for example.
So if we get through today and we all go, well, we dodged the bullet there. The fact is, the reality is, the worm is out there. So it continues to be a menace, right?
Right, and especially in, they've done a geographical analysis of where most of the infections seem to be. Of course, they're in places where there's the most pirated software, so China. Right. And it seems that in the world, on average, there's only 30% of computers, Windows machines, that are kept up to date. So one thing is stop ignoring those automatic updates, the little alert that comes in. Always do your updates. This is actually an exploit that was fixed in October by Microsoft. So if you did your updates in late October, you're fine.
Good advice. Okay, note to self. Get on it. Ken, good to talk to you. Thanks for this. Too. Lots more still to come on CBC News today. Right now, though, we want to show you the scene.